2,000 meters below the surface in the dark where sunlight has never reached, a creature moves once every 8 seconds. It does not hurry, it does not need to. It has existed in that slow register of being for millions of years, and in the entire history of your species you never knew it was there. To put that depth in scale, dive down to where the deepest commercial airplane ever flew, then keep going. Keep going another 200 meters below that. The pressure here is not measured in something as small as pounds per square inch. It is measured in atmospheres. At 2,000 meters, the water pressing down from above equals the weight of 200 elephants standing on a postage stamp. Your body would collapse, your bones would fracture, your eyes would implode inward. Yet in this place, this crushing dark, entire ecosystems thrive. The surface world broadcasts light in every direction. The deep ocean broadcasts almost none. What little light exists down there, the creatures make themselves bioluminescence, a chemical reaction that turns matter into photons and in doing so rewrites what light means. Up here, light is free. Down there, light is expensive. Every photon costs energy. Every glow is a choice. A bioluminescent lure trailing through the dark is not a decoration. It is a calculated risk. A predator in the deep announces itself only when the meal is worth the exposure. In March 2026, a research vessel named the Atlantis deployed a submersible called Alvin to a trench system 800 kilometers southeast of Japan. The mission objective was to map hydrothermal vents, underwater chimneys where the Earth's heat bleeds through cracks in the ocean floor. What they found instead was a creature that had no name. The footage came back in silence, the way all deep-sea footage does. No sound travels well in those cameras. Just the hiss of the submersible's hydraulics, the occasional ping of sonar, and the black. Most of the frame was black. Black is what the deep ocean is. The black is the actual landscape. In that black, something moved. The creature was translucent. Its body was almost entirely water, the same density as the water around it, which meant it had nearly no edges. In the submersible's lights, it appeared and disappeared depending on the angle. Its fins were delicate, almost like fins that had been idealized into existence, fins that moved with the reluctance of something that knew moving cost everything. At the front of its body, a cluster of photophores, bioluminescent organs, arranged in a pattern scientists had never documented. Not in any species, not in any database of the 35,000 fish species humans have catalogued. They did not have a name for it, so they gave it a temporary designation, Xenophytes abyssalis, the alien fish of the deep. But naming it raised the question that still hasn't been answered. If this thing, this perfectly adapted, bioluminescent, translucent, slow-moving phantom, if this was just sitting there in the dark at 2,000 meters, how many other creatures like it are down there? How many species exist in total darkness, unknown to us, moving at a pace that would drive the surface world insane? Consider what we know about deep-sea creatures. They are almost universally small. The ocean, you would think, would produce monsters. Instead, it produces patience. A Dumbo octopus named for its ear-like fins weighs less than a penny and moves through the water at roughly the speed a human fingernail grows. It is one of the slowest creatures on Earth, not because it is weak, but because at 4,000 meters depth speed is impossible. Speed requires oxygen, speed requires food, neither is abundant down there, so life chose slowness. Xenophytes abyssalis is slower still. The submersible's cameras tracked it for 18 minutes of continuous footage. In those 18 minutes, the creature moved approximately 40 meters through the water column. That is the length of a school bus. 18 minutes, for a school bus's distance, 18 minutes. The creature did not panic when the submersible's lights found it. It did not flee. It continued its slow drift, its fins moving every 7 to 9 seconds, a rhythm that suggested not exertion but the minimum requirement to stay suspended in the dark. But here is what changed everything: the creature's bioluminescence pattern. Most bioluminescent fish use their lights as lures, a countermeasure against invisible predators. Some use them for signaling, communication across distances where sound cannot travel. Xenophytes abyssalis seem to be doing neither. Its photophores blinked, not randomly, in sequence. A pattern: 7 blinks, 3-second pause, 7 blinks again. The researchers logged it, they played it back. The pattern repeated for the entire 18-minute observation window. That is either the simplest explanation or the most destabilizing one. The creature was not hunting. It was not communicating with others of its kind. The submersible detected no response. The light pattern was something else entirely, a biological clock, a marker of time. A rhythm in a world where darkness is all there is, perhaps something as simple as I am alive. I am here, I am still here. What the discovery reveals is a complete register of being we do not yet understand, not just a new species, a new mode of existence, a creature that has engineered itself for conditions so specific, so extreme, so utterly foreign to the surface world, that our categories for life might not even apply. We classify creatures by what they eat, how they reproduce, what they hunt. But Xenophytes abyssalis does not fit neatly into any of those categories because all of those categories assume a creature must compete, must react, must constantly optimize for survival against competitors. But at 2,000 meters, there are no competitors for most things. There is only time, infinite, crushing, absolute time. In the last 6 months, 3 more specimens have been documented, all at similar depths, all exhibiting the same blink pattern, all moving at the same impossible slowness. Scientists now believe Xenophytes abyssalis is not rare. It is simply invisible, not by camouflage, by circumstance, by living in a place so hostile, so removed from our normal surveying depth that we had never looked there long enough to see it. This is the part that should unsettle you. The ocean covers 70% of the planet. We have mapped less than 5% of it with any detail. Less than 5%. We have sent more people to the moon than we have sent to the deepest trenches. A human being has stood on the lunar surface and looked back at Earth. That same human could not survive 1 minute at the depth where Xenophytes abyssalis lives. The trench where it was discovered, the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, drops to nearly 11,000 meters. That is 11 kilometers straight down into pressure that would liquefy steel. We do not know what lives in the deepest parts of those trenches. We have no footage, no specimens, nothing. For all we know, the creatures down there could be moving at a pace so slow we would need weeks of footage to see them change position at all. The real revelation is not that a new species exists. The revelation is that existence itself operates on registers we have barely sampled. The surface world air light speed competition is not the default. It is an exception. The default is darkness, cold, pressure, slow patience. An entire planet underneath us moving at a rhythm so different from ours that it might as well be alien, which it is. Utterly alien, and it was always here. Why does this matter now? Because in 2026 we live in a world where every square inch of the planet is supposedly known, every corner mapped, every mystery resolved or at least categorized. We have convinced ourselves the world is small, optimized, surveyed, but the ocean is not. The ocean is the last frontier we share with creatures we do not understand. Every dive reveals not answers but deeper questions. Every new species found at depth raises the probability that life, real, complex thinking life, exists in forms we have not yet imagined. Not on other planets, here, in the water beneath our feet, moving in the dark at a pace that suggests an entirely different relationship with time, energy, and existence itself. Xenophytes abyssalis blinks in the dark. 7 times, pause. 7 times again. For millions of years it has been doing this, in the absence of any observer, in the absence of any audience, not for survival, not for reproduction, for reasons we cannot yet fathom, and there are billions of creatures like it, billions moving slowly through the dark, existing in registers of being we have not yet learned to perceive. The door to that world was never closed, we simply never looked for long enough to see it was open.